Maybe he's not.
3, 2, 1. That will just put thing in the background.
Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai haere mai ki tēnei hui no te poare o Waitai mātou. Ko kaitiaki mō ihutai o tākoro ku harakeke nui me pāoho. A mō ngā tangata o te rāwhiti o Ōtatahi ko au hea mana o te poare o Waitai o Pomagmana home. So everyone, welcome to the Waitai Community Board meeting. And yeah, thank you. Firstly, I just want to just make sure that everybody knows that item number 14, Preston's Road Mitre 10 road frontage changes, the item has been withdrawn and will probably be back for the March meeting. And next, moving on to apologies. I have apology from Councillor Donovan. Do we have any other apologies? No? Happy to move. Happy to move. It's moved by Kelly, seconded by Alex. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, carried. And just to note that me Rose is on Zoom. Do you have any declarations of interest to make? Kim? Item 19. And you're on the committee?
Resigned yet, so
you haven't resigned yet, okay. So you're not participating.
Okay.
Yeah,
just item 18 as well. That goes through the Waitai Trust. I've been the council appointment to do that.
You're the what? Sorry,
the council appointment.
The council appointment.
So I'll just stand back from that as well.
all right. Thank you. Sorry about that. So minor disputes over tikanga. So we move to the confirmation of previous minutes.
One error in it.
One error.
Just names. It was listed as Andrew and somebody Barker. It was Andrew Barker and Hunter Brown, I believe. The only change.
What item was that program?
It was deputation from Andrew Barker, the Waitakere principal, number 5.3.
Okay.
Just Andrew Barker and Hunter Brown.
So subject to that change, you happy to move still, Jackie? And seconded by Greg. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, carried. All right, confirmation minutes. So now we move to public forum. Public forum is 5 minutes for people to come and speak to the board about whatever they like. And that's 5 minutes including questions. So first we have, and it's only public forum, we have Kate Latimer from Eastern Spawn Rec.
Kia ora tātou. I'm Eastern Community.
Press the button there.
Which one? That one?
I think mashing and
That one. Other one. Kia ora, I'm Kate Latimer, Manager of Eastern Community Sport and Recreation, and I just wanted to come along because it's not a funding year that I can come and chat to you and just give you an update on what's happening with us. In terms of what we've been doing. We've been doing delivering sport and active recreation in East Christchurch for the past 15 plus years. And we have been proudly supported by City Council with funding, and fortunate to have triennial funding, which really helps with surety of knowing what's happening moving forwards. We aim to remove barriers and build active communities. And we have hundreds of tamariki engaging in regular physical activity. I sent a link to Cindy to play. Could you play that for me? And it's real quick. It's a minute and a half of sort of sums up what we do.
Yeah, doing all the stuff. It's feeling sick of seeing all the stuff. It's now I don't care. I'm also from a new location. I love great motivation. Most of it change the station. Head to so some more, just a little bit. Breathing more, just a little bit. That's just a little bit. I like this one.
I think we missed the beginning. To be honest, I think that just start. Yeah, now it's right. You can watch it again because it's really quick. Yeah, there we go.
Crazy lady, I'm trying to shine around myself, and you just trying to get over. I just not fair. Been working on my tunnel vision, trying to get a new prescription, take the swings and even listen, but I don't care. Yeah, tomorrow just a little bit, breathing more just a little bit, hey, a little less, just a little bit, like life is for. Make me come on just a little bit, spin a little more to get rid of it, smile a little more and a minute away. I've been going to the rain, it's a green light, it's going up the street, going to
Cool. Yeah, we're back to the beginning where we started. Awesome. So you can see on there, there's a range of ages and activities that are involved, and it's right through from seated exercise right through to full-on sports leagues. So we've got hundreds of tamariki engaging in regular physical activities, and we run inclusive programs for all ages. We have strong partnerships. It's local delivery and what does that say? Trusted community connections. Just to give you some stats, we delivered to 642 tamariki in school last year, in our last financial year. There's over 6,192 activations, so that means where we've actually connected with someone, they've done something with us. We've engaged in over 10 community events. We work with more than 20 plus community networks in this area, and we've in the wider Christchurch area, there's over 50 plus groups, and Greg's one of those groups, so he understands what we're at. And is there anyone got any question?
One question, Rick.
It's not sort of questions, I'll skip this.
Okay.
One.
Got a question?
Thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. I was just really interested, I've been really impressed with the cover, you know, the thing that runs
Canopy,
the land,
yeah.
canopy, and just was really keen just to understand how popular that is in terms of use and how it's looking in terms of just the numbers going through.
Hugely popular. We have it used every night of the week. Saturdays and Sundays is a bit tight, depending on the weather. We are really weather dependent, so it will pick up more. During the week, it's used for in the daytime for school delivery, and obviously when we do our winter sports cluster, it's used fully on that Friday. So it is a bit cyclical.
lighting of parks around, sports fields around the city?
I don't know, but staff might.
So the only thing that I know that could potentially be covered is, I know that staff are planning on providing the board with an update on everything that's happening within Linwood Park. So they're coming together with one update rather than piecemeal projects. So with regards to the overall sport network plan, I wouldn't have thought so, no.
So it's just Linwood Park.
Yes.
All right.
Because my understanding is that the RSOs, so like Canterbury Rugby League, for example, have informed the sports network plan implementation. So they would have given their priorities to council. So it might be quite good just to check in and see what we can do to get this elevated, because otherwise it's really hard for us.
So I guess the question that we would like to be passed on to staff is just that they would show how this is integrated with the sports network plan, how it works.
I can fix stuff with
Or
Emma.
how we can have input into the priorities in the sports network plan, given that these are like high level program budgets that we don't have visibility of.
Oh, okay. Just have that noted. All right, so that's moved and seconded. I'll put that now. All those in favour say aye. Against, carried. So next we'll move on to staff reports. So we have the Broad Park first. So I could invite Courtney and other staff to the table. So if I could just ask you to explain the legal situation, and so the board would like to get more information about this, which we'll discuss. But if you could just give us the situation that we're in, just for the benefit of the public who may be watching or interested.
Yeah, I'll get Ron to cover the legal stuff. Yeah, so on Broad Park Road, there's a lot of great facilities and where people like to park up and sometimes park overnight, which has caused some issues for a couple of or one particular resident. And so initially there were some overnight parking restrictions put in place, limited to the kind of immediate location near the resident who was experiencing the issues. And then it was decided that we'd consult on extending the overnight restrictions to the length of Broad Park Road on the park side. So we've got the consultation feedback, and in the meantime, there's been a lot of discussion about the legal implications of this, and I'll let Ron kind of explain that a little bit more.
Right, as pointed out in the legal consideration section of this report, there is limited means to be able to utilise a bylaw to inhibit the ability of people to freedom camp. So if you attempted to inhibit people's ability to freedom camp using another bylaw, you're at real legal risk. I would say the risk, as I've said in the report, is high of legal challenge. That's an expensive exercise for the council, at a cost which the ratepayers would have to bear. I would estimate it would probably be in at least $50,000 to $100,000. And as I've said in the, well, I've previously said, I think the risk would come from the New Zealand Motorhomes Association. As I've previously said, they are emboldened by their success with the Queenstown Lake decision in relation to the Queenstown's freedom camping bylaw. If I was going to make a comment, I would very heavily counsel against trying to restrict it, just because of that risk. Because at the moment, I don't think you've got sufficient information on which you could ever contemplate restricting the parking on these 20 additional car parks.
Thank you, and that's very clear. Like we need to have sufficient information to make a decision. If we're going to do something creative, we need to have we need information and advice. So the suggestion here, which we have discussed offline, is that we request a site visit with relevant staff. So that's Transport Parks, Legal Policy, at Broad Park and other freedom camping hotspots to discuss potential mitigations. Now, so that's not us, just to say to the community, that's not us giving up, that's us trying to find a solution when we don't quite have the right information or the right tools available to us. We're going to look at the problem. So is there any questions around that? All right, well, would someone like to move that? Any questions?
Just wondered if we lie on the table to look at the site visit, or whether we just, like, how do we get back into the process to come back to us for a decision?
Well, there are a number of ways that we can get items on the agenda. You know, there's notices of motion, there's chair report, there is a staff report. So I'm sure that we can do that after we've received the advice. I'm not too concerned about that, as long as it's. But in order to be able to put anything or any of those things, we need to know that we can legally do it. So, Kim?
Happy with that, just wondering whether we can actually put in rough timeframe, because it's sort of open.
It's as soon as practicable. Do we have a mover? Moved by Kim. Wait, would you like?
Sorry, for the chair. Yeah. Sorry, can I just ask, the number of other hotspots is quite open. Can we get some more direction on what that might involve, just logistically, to help organise things?
North Beach and Marine Parade. So North Beach and Marine Parade.
Basically, Broad Park, Coastal.
Okay.
Thank you.
In terms of site visits, how would that work?
Jump in the car or you start
One after another.
down,
Okay.
yeah. And a reasonable time of day, so that we're not going there 3 o'clock. in the
Yes,
afternoon.
well, we can work that out.
Thanks.
Great. All right, so I think we've got something that we're happy with. Moved by Kim and seconded by Alex. Right, I'll put that now. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Right, thank you very much and for your help.
Yeah.
We have more reports from recordings.
Yeah.
So we have the Bancroft Place and Woodhaven Place proposed no stopping restrictions. Is there any questions about these? Because they seem quite simple. They're just no questions. Would anyone like to move the staff recommendation for that? Moved by Jackie, seconded by Greg. All those in favour say aye. Against, carried. The next one is not you. Right, thank you. Nice to have you back. We have Marine Parade Parking Bay Resolution Adjustments, Nick, and just to remind you all, this is work that we requested. Nick has come back with the outcome of that. Is there anything you wanted to remind us of or point us to before we?
Yeah, just is there any way, do we have the picture handy, Cindy? Okay, so you'll see if you've got the agenda in front of you, there's a couple of pictures at the end of the report just showing the 2 parking bays in question. The only change we're talking about is the one raised by Councillor Donovan previously, where we take the no stopping lines, which are currently on the Marine Parade Road side of those 2 parking bays, and we shift them so that the no stopping lines will now be up against the shared path, just minimise that risk of dooring a cyclist or anything like that. No change to number of parks available, and we've had a look at the vehicle tracking just from a safety point of view, and it looks all clear that people should be able to get through there.
All right. Would someone like to move the staff recommendation? What?
I second it.
Okay, moved by Kim, seconded by Alex. All right. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you very much, Nick. Right, next we come to Connell Reserve, or the Powerhall Heathcote River willow removal. I did have one question, which has been, Toby is online. It's not actually about this, Toby, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to ask about the wild blackberries, which, and I really like blackberries, but they were removed. There were quite a lot of them, and they were removed, and they seem to be coming back all over the place at the moment. Around there, and they look to be choking some of the planted, some of the new planting or the new old planting. Would you mind telling us if that's going to be dealt with soon?
Yeah, so I can raise it. It's not something me and my team would deal with. Sorry,
Yeah.
I did see the question come through and I had it on my list to follow that up, but I haven't had a chance to follow it up, but I can raise it with the Parks and the Waterways team about it. Generally what happens is we get these plantings undertaken with volunteer groups as well, and they're usually really good at keeping on top of a lot of these things as well. So I'll just have to have a closer look and see who's responsible for those plants and how best to approach it. But weeds such as blackberry are not an easy thing to get on top of, unfortunately.
No. All right, thank you very much. Jan.
Yeah, thanks, Toby, just to reinforce that, yeah, there were concerns expressed previously around the maintenance schedule through here. So if these trees are removed, is there going to be a commitment to having a better, more regular maintenance schedule just to keep the area tidy, like with the blackberries and the other stuff that happens as a result?
Yeah, so the removal of these trees won't necessarily trigger other teams being more involved in the area. What it will do is it will reduce the maintenance requirements for our tree team. So that will open up resources for other areas. It'll also reduce the spread of this within that space as well. And it should let some more light through, hopefully for some of those native plants to come through. Yeah.
And just the final question from me was the Laura Kent Reserve Group. Have they been approached directly? And have their views been sought?
The Laura Kent Reserve Group, I don't know if they have, sorry. What happened is we went and talked to the residents that were straight within the vicinity of those trees. And the request had come through during consultation for the Opawaho Heathcote River planting plan, requesting that we look at removing these because the issues they caused. Because they're pollarded, any tree like these where we have to continually pollard, they become a bit of a maintenance cost because we can't just leave them to grow. We have to continuously go back in there and maintain them. So because we got the request of the OHRN, not the OHRN, through that consultation phase and the cost that we incur maintaining them and then talking to the residents who were keen to see them gone, we brought this through to you based on those.
And I don't know if the Laura Kent Group covers that side of the river or not, Yanni.
They're pretty active in this area, doing a lot of stuff. So yeah, okay.
All right. Any further questions? Oh, Kevin, sorry.
Yeah, just a general question on the removal of the willows. I see that over the years council's removed quite a lot of willows along the river banks. My understanding is that willows do contribute to oxidation and it provides oxygen in the air. They also suck up a lot of water in the river. My understanding is that some of the willows that have been planted aren't a good variety, which these could be, but apparently there is a willow variety which doesn't do the suckering. So I'm just wondering if there's been much consideration for that. I can appreciate the maintenance, but they're such great value for helping the river life and help prevent flooding, etc.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And we certainly don't take a blanket approach where we go and remove all willows. In this instance, there's planting underneath already. There's existing stuff around these trees. So we do get requests, which I turn down quite a lot, where we get requests to remove a willow tree, an exotic tree, just because it's exotic or it's willow and it's along the river corridor. We tend to say no to those. We usually need other contributing factors before we consider it. So this already has understory planting around it. And again, because the type of willow this is and the fact that it's been pollarded, it kind of just tips those scales for us to feel that we could establish a better long-term species in these areas than these willows. But I do agree with you. There's lots of other areas where we do have willows and we certainly keep them. We've got elms, we've got lots of other trees along our riverbanks, which play an important role in it. So I'm by no means advocating to remove trees just because they're willows or exotics.
Appreciate that, thank you. Just the other, I see that further in town, they have actually, council have actually planted some more willows, but smaller varieties, so.
Yep.
Is that a consideration for you, given how they, are beneficial for the river?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Would someone like to move staff recommendation? Moved by Jackie, seconded by Alex. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
So we've got the new Brighton Rugby Football Club variation to lease. It seems pretty straightforward. Do you have are there any questions?
No, I just wanted to highlight that I'm on obviously the board assigned rep for Eastern Sport and Rec and the Brighton Rugby Clubs. I guess they're part of that group. I don't think it's a conflict in it, but I just wanted to note it.
But you want
don't need to note it in minutes. I just wanted to note it too.
Yeah. No, that's fine. If there's no questions, I'll ask if anyone will move the staff recommendation. Moved by Jackie, seconded by Greg. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. The next is the Coastal Spirit Football Club new build application for Linfield Park. Do we have any questions? Yanni, if staff comes to the table. Right.
Just the question I have is around consultation and just, is there any thought given to just how we consult the local community? I just note that we've had some issues here in the past where things have gone in adjacent to people's property, causing quite a lot of distress. So I just want to make sure that there's some process around letting people know and how we've sought the local views.
Yeah, and we don't have the engagement advisor here with us, but I can kind of speak on her behalf. So for this one, given it's a relatively low scale, it's not surrounding a huge neighbourhood, we have directly gone and done letter drops to those directly facing it. Typically anything larger, we would obviously do a let's talk page for that. Is anything else to add to that?
No, that was the extent of the engagement with the neighbours, 40 blinds around boundary basin.
So we shouldn't expect that anybody living directly, this is going to be a surprise.
There was the usual notice for a new lease as well in the paper.
So just in terms of the feedback, so I see the two from the key stakeholders, but I don't see the community feedback.
None was provided.
There was none.
We didn't hear that from
response
anybody.
from anyone.
No, from all 40 letters, we had no response.
And were they personalised letters like in envelopes or?
Yes, hand delivered to their letterbox. And we don't have the resource to knock on their doors, so.
But that's cool. Oh, yeah.
Right. Move. Further discussion? No, moved by Kelly, seconded by Jackie. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. And the next one we have Ashley and Jack here around Queen's Park Drive. Yep. Does anyone have any questions about this? No questions? All right, in that case, would someone like to move the staff recommendation? Moved by Alex, seconded by Kim. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Right. Do we have anyone here for the Buckley's Road?
Not yet.
Okay.
You moved there?
I mean, so there were questions about whether around the potential for the MCR, and the feedback was that there's no impact, and so it's fine. So it's not going to wouldn't change what we did in relation to this.
This is just an additional to the second part of the question, the response I got.
Staff are working on business cases to prepare applications to NZTA for funding three remaining major cycleways. So that's at Takaro Avon, Pawaho, River and Southern Lights route. Formal route selection and design for these routes will not start until either subsidy is secured or council has given staff direction to go ahead without subsidy. Therefore, potential routes will not be released publicly until this time, as this will mean greater certainty can be given over likely times areas to be impacted. So using the current long-term plan funding for the construction of the Takaro Avon route starts in fiscal year 30. So but in terms of the impact on these particular projects that we have before us, we've been advised that it's such that it's not going to be, they won't need to be changed with an MCR going through there. So it's good to go. We don't have staff here to provide advice, but so we have item number 16, which is Buckley's Russell. Is someone happy to move that?
Yeah, I'm happy to move
By
that.
Jackie.
17.
Do we have a seconder? Seconder? I'll second it. I don't know if I can. Can I second it? Yeah.
I'll second it.
Yeah. Well, I've already seconded it. So, so that's number 16. So, do we have any discussion?
Question?
Yep.
Cool. So I'm a little bit concerned about the shared path. We've had feedback from disability groups in the past that shared paths are actually, they find them quite dangerous. So if you look at Kerrs Road and Buckley's Road, I just am concerned at having a shared path go through there. To me, it seems like you've got ample space. And it's particularly if you've got an MCR going through that. And the other question I would have is, when the Columbus Street Summerfield intersection got done, there was reference to MCR routes for that area. Why are we not getting the advice in this report? Like, I can't understand why we're told it's secret and we can't discuss it and the concern around it when lots of other projects in the city like reference to MCRs. And the latest was the Summerfield, Columbus Street corner, like where they had a whole presentation around how it fit in with the MCR. So I just I don't know why this is secret. I just don't get it. And the design that we've got in front of us doesn't seem optimal for cycling through this area at all.
Staff have advised though, that the specifics are such that it's not a concern, and these are also two very unsafe intersections. So, I mean, what are you, do you have any suggestion as to what else we could do?
So if you look at the diagram,
we're not redesigning it. I'm sort of at this point, like we can't. So we either need to accept the staff recommendation or let it lie on the table or decline it.
So on page 124, if you look at that diagram, the idea of having a shared path with the footpath.
Rather, no, we haven't.
We've
moved
16.
So that we're talking about. So what we'll do is, I think we'll come back to this and hope that, because if you're wanting to ask questions, we'll move to item number 18, which is the area report. Item number 18, which is the DRF application for the EFI Trust.
I mean, I'm happy with 16. It was just 17.
Okay, we were talking about 16. So in that case, so about 16. Yeah.
It's probably only needed for staff to answer it because there's a lamppost that's right where that crossing is going to be. So it's interested. It didn't show it being shifted or anything in the plan.
Okay, well, we should wait for that then too. We'll come back to it.
Could I propose that we move 18 and 19 together?
You can propose that. Is there any, although there's conflict.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shadow moving 19 and also want to move 18.
Okay, so you would like to move 18, so that means, so Yanni is not voting on this one. Do we have any questions about this? No questions? Well, I think in that case, I'm going to ask if there's a mover. Alex, seconded by Greg. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried.
Move 19.
Alex has foreshadowed a moving 19, which is the North Beach Residents Association. Seconded by Jackie. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
It's carried. The next one is from Rory. It's a DRF application for Korero Ki Ototahi. Do you have any questions about that? No questions? All right, in that case, would someone like to move it? Moved by Jackie, seconded by Greg. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. And now we're at the representation on outside organisations. I only had Alex say you wanted to be on one of those things, didn't you?
Yeah,
You suggested Spencerville?
no, so I just wanted to point out that Waitai Beach Residents Association, that was already voted on at the last meeting.
Yeah, so we'll take that out.
I'm happy to be on New Brighton or Spencer.
So unless there's any dispute, Alex is happy to be on New Brighton and Spencerville Residents Associations. Do we have any volunteers to be in any of those other?
6.
Yeah.
Thanks, happy to move.
We need
I
to-
had a question. Last time we sent letters from the board to the organisations. Is that happening again?
Yes,
Okay.
so as soon as I've got a complete list, I will do that in one go rather than piecemeal like from December and then today.
I think given that Councillor Donovan's away, we might need to leave this on for next time as well.
The rest of them.
The rest of them, yeah. So we'll move that we appoint Alex to the New Brighton Resident Association and Spencerville. All right. I'll just move that from the chair. So do we have a seconder? Move, seconded by Kelly. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. And now we have area report. Mustafa, anything you'd like to bring to our attention? It's lots and lots and lots of stuff in that report.
It's a pretty full on report first off the year, but no, I'm happy for questions if there are any.
Right. Do we have any questions? Alex?
I'm sorry, it was bad with this. Is it possible going forward, if there's too much resource, don't worry about it, if it's easy, to potentially just a table in relation to the current, I guess, like we've got the QEG play space, we've got the draft to the main Thompson Park updates, just with the estimate of when they're due to be complete. Because we're aware of that, but I think community isn't, and it's any resource we can just screenshot, check on Facebook, and hit a few at once.
I'll make a note of that and see what we can do. We're a little locked in a little with the template.
Yeah,
These
it's
area
not
reports,
much, that's all.
but I'll take it away and have a look at what we can do.
Thank you.
All right.
Can we move?
Yeah, moved by Alex and seconded by Kim, but questions from Yanni?
Do we know when the Linwood funding pavilion is going to be open?
Okay.
It's basically maybe windows, March, April.
And I was just kind of wondering with the, just as like sort of like kind of a rule with Alex's point, but like, is it possible to kind of have a watch list of like key projects, like Exie Reserve, for example, is one that
we are going to have, we have asked for that and been told that we were going to be providing that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, as
So,
part of your board plan, you talked about including a watch list and how the reporting back, so it's something that we're looking at.
Yeah, because you've got like Rapid Domain and Thompson Park updates here, you've got, different.
So the updates that we tend to put in there is when something's happening in those areas, so they're not necessarily always going to appear in the area report, it's more as something happens. Whereas with the board plan, you were looking to identify a few key projects that would then be a bit more regularly updated against. Obviously, we can't do everything because of resourcing, but then we'll be getting you to nominate what those projects are, and then finding a mechanism to keep you updated a bit more live.
Okay, and then just like the final question again is around the MCR I just cannot understand why our area should be in the dark over the route. I know we've had a briefing in public excluded as a board, but like, we just had a report go to council with consideration of like other MCRs that are at the same stage as ours, where designs were integrated into the consideration based on the likely route. But yeah, in our area, I'm trying to understand why we're spending money along where these MCRs are going without just incorporating some basic MCR style interventions. It just seems like really inefficient. Is there anything that's being done to look at the MCR and the secret route, look at the council works that are happening along it? And the example I will always give, which just seems a no-brainer, is when we did reconstruction or renewal of the curb along Pages Road, where a MCR was proposed possibly to go. Why wouldn't you just put in something there at the same time? Like, surely it's much more cost effective to do that and come back later and dig it up and widen it.
Well, so my sense is that, and look, I don't have any oversight of any of the other MCRs, but my sense is we're so far in advance of looking like having any of the funding available that it would be silly to spend money as if the decision had already been made on the road.
But council's already asked for like low cost interventions around some of the MCRs to try and get greater progress. But it just seems an obvious thing to do, right? Like, if you're going to design an intersection and make safety improvements, and you know there's a likelihood of an MCR going through it, why wouldn't you do the work at the same time?
Well, because then you're prejudging a decision that you haven't made yet.
Well,
like, I understand.
As long as it's consistent, because it's not consistent with like the route selection that happened for other routes. They let local residents groups know, they let local stakeholders know, they incorporated their views into it. In our area, it's just all been done in the dark.
Well, my sense is that nothing has really been done at all. We've had an idea of where it might go, as we've been given options to have some heads up in advance, but nothing's actually been done other than that. I mean, yeah, so it's not really on the topic of the area report. And I don't think we're going to solve the issue of MCR as much as I'd like an MCR. Yes, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is like, what stops us from just consulting on the route selection now, so that we can confirm the route, even if the funding is further away than we'd like. Like, I just don't understand why we wouldn't get that process done. We've put money on budgets, so it's my council to do this sort of work. So I think that would be much better, because then we could be informed with that Pages Road Bridge, like with the intersection improvements that we're doing, the maintenance projects that we're doing. Well, so I guess that's the question for me is like, how could we get the route selection process for the preferred route agreed, so that we can be informed with the other work that we've got going in this corridor? So I'm not sure we have any answers for that today, and we can potentially talk about the members' information, but I think probably what we should do, because it's not really, within standing orders around the area report. So I think we should probably move past this item and go for an adjournment until we have staff present to be able to advise. Page 1. Sorry, it is on page 157.
What does it say?
It says the project's route selection is not developed, nor is it appropriate to release the unworked drafts around route considerations. And I'm like, man, you guys have seen the presentation. It's pretty developed in my mind.
Well, we were given some options, and but the details of which need lots and lots and lots of work.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I want the information too. I'm just trying to figure out whether we should, and I don't think we should, whether we should be asking for changes to safety interventions and dangerous intersections, which I don't think we should. So area report. Any questions on the area report? Kim.
Thank you. Just on page 158, Rookwood Bogle Travis Roundabout, just clarification, please. It says that.
Could you put your microphone on, please?
Just clarification around the Rookwood Bogle Travis Road Roundabout on page 158 of the item 22. Just says here that it was presented to the members recently and from the meeting it is now planned to undertake pre-consultation. So just clarification on that. That was the previous board meeting, because we haven't, as a new board, we haven't had a meeting on it, we've been sent information.
Yeah, so all of these, I think there's 5 or there's a few of them anyway. These are responses back. So you would have all received these by email, but what we do or what Cindy does is we put them into the area report as a way of closing the loop as well. So I think some of these questions might have been tipped over from pre-election, but between that, getting the answers and then responding it back. So it's just a bit of it.
All right, thanks, Chris. The other one was just saying that there's going to be some pre-consultation. My understanding is that some community groups have been contacted, but my understanding, and I could be wrong, but that the North Beach RA hasn't, but I could be wrong, but it would be really good if they put part of their pre-consultation.
Is that on the Rookwood one that you're talking about again?
Yeah, so it's the the eastern outer waterfall subway and around it.
We can pass that on to the court.
Thanks very much. That was it.
All right. Alex.
The other question, and I'm happy to follow this up later by email if that's easier, but there seems to be quite a few, I think I raised this last time and I don't know where we got to on it, but there seems to be a few snaps and sold requests that have been sorted or sold, but it's not actually been closed in the system. So I think there's a negative perspective that nothing's been done when it has been done, but the resident hasn't been informed of it. I don't know where they got to last time, but I think fly tipping was one of the examples, and graffiti and stuff like that. So it does sit within different teams as well. So it's not just one unit that's not doing it. I just wanted to know if that got anywhere or if we progressed it or not, or any suggestions there, just because obviously actually firm result and it's having a negative impact on the organisation, we potentially should, because it has been resolved.
Yeah, I'm not sure because if the high risk tickets for those units are anything like me, I can absolutely nag if anything is ever overdue. So it should be that they would be wanting to close them off. But so I'm not sure why, if they've done a job, better or whatever it is, but they're not closing them off. I mean, if you've got any examples, send them through to customer services, but I'm not sure there's much we can do at this level unless you do.
No, so all I know in addition to that is every month all unit heads get an email of outstanding tickets and actions. And they have to then drill down to their staff to respond, close, continue, like just to see where each line item is in relation to that. So I think there are steps being taken with inside the organisation. But yeah, so but when the report's created, it could be like they're always a month or two ahead.
Yeah.
So we know that it's closed, but that was 2 months ago it was open. So there's the time difference between the report being generated and when you receive it.
Yeah.
So
That's a good, I was just wondering. Thank you.
Rick.
Around the ticket thing, every month it seems there's about 600 tickets relating to wheelie bins. Are we able to find out what's been done to address? I mean, if they're not picked up, is it a training issue? If they're going missing, is it just operator error that's dropping them in trucks that are getting damaged? Just likewise, it just seems that a lot of time is being spent on the same thing every month, and if there's any actions being taken,
It's a really big issue.
it's a really big issue.
Well, yeah, we'll wait till David said that.
Wheelie bins actually didn't go missing on every week. So it's not like.
Especially in Wolston.
Yeah, especially in Wolston. Just had a debate around the replacement.
They have to be reported within 48 hours.
That's what I was going to say, is people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite deliberate.
Oh, there's a good reason for it, but try to explain if you like.
Yeah,
Are you, sorry, you had your hand up. Can we have your explanation and your question?
It's in the contract, 48 hours, be $100,000 to change it, which we can look at some stage. Anyway, my question was regarding the Preston's Road, Marshlands Road intersection as part of the cycle group. It's a local cycle group have identified that some cyclists are not comfortable turning into Marshlands Road, and were wondering about the possibility of getting it cut down so that they could come up onto the shared path. How best to advance that?
Ask them to log a ticket, so we'll go straight to the.
Yeah.
That had been done by a chap who's in the room. And I
Coordinate be attached.
I forwarded it to Courtney to follow up, so that would be the correct process.
Yeah. Sweet, Alex and then Kim.
Oh, no, Kelly answered it. I was just wondering. I don't know who actually reads the area report in terms of residents, but just mindful that I get a call probably quite a lot. From residents being told that they have to pay for replacement bins, they don't reach out in 48 hours. And I appreciate there's not that much that can be done about that right now. But what, yeah, no, I appreciate that as well, but in some situations, it is there any communication avenues where we communicating that with residents?
So recently, a constituent of mine, lovely lady, she moved into a house. Sorry, one conversation time. I was pontificating. The resident of constituent of mine, a lovely lady, moved into a house recently, and there was no wheelie bin. Wheelie bin had gone missing, been stolen, and was told that she had to provide 48 hours notice, which of course was impossible because she didn't own the house and had gone missing, and then was then told that that she needed to pay for a new one, and unfortunately that was escalated. And it got dealt with, but it shouldn't be that somebody is in that situation. Obviously, if you're away on holiday and your wheelie bin gets stolen, what are you supposed to do? So it does seem that there's facility to get around it, but it has to be exceptional circumstances.
The issue with the paying for the replacement of the wheelie bin is that we residents don't own them. Right, so in the case of the one that went missing before the person moved in, they had no responsibility for that bin whatsoever.
Yeah,
and it was stolen during a burglary of something else.
There is some discretion in the system.
It's all right, I believe that person got discretion.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't have had to go through the process that they did to achieve that discretion.
So just going back to my question, obviously there is discretion, and I asked the question and it wasn't answered, Mr. Chair. But like acknowledging the fact that it's a bit of a, honestly, I'm not gonna say that, muck around in relation to that process. Is there, without taking up any resources, are there any quick fixes to highlight that further? Maybe we talked about chucking on the rates invoice or something.
My recommendation would be to go online and make a suggestion and use that tool.
Make a suggestion.
Yeah, there's an option to make a suggestion, complaint or compliment, and that will get fed into the appropriate team. And if they feel it appropriate, then they would potentially add a leaflet with the rates invoices.
Good. You can put it in your plan submission. Sorry, come here. Come.
Just looking at the categories there, just a little bit around the freedom camping, snacks and soul, there's no category to be able to really log that in easily, quickly. You know, it would be quite good if there was a category for freedom camping, but everything else would be zero moved. I put this as a parks and select. And also, so it'd be quite good if staff could perhaps consider adding that one in. The other thing is that when phone calls are made, because I encourage a lot of people can't do the app, they're just not for that sort of thing. So to make a phone call to the general phone number.
I'd save it and ask it of that, because I don't think there's much we can do to alter the categories at the moment.
Happy to move. All right, yeah, you've already moved it. Already moved by Alex and seconded by Kim. I'll put that now. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. So what we'll do now, in order to perhaps obtain the staff advice we need, we'll adjourn the meeting 5 minutes. Well, we'll send the calls to the person in question, and we'll come back.
Sounds good.
Right. We have reconvened the meeting. So Jim, if you'd like to join us at the table, we've got your two reports. On the Buckley's Road intersections. So starting I have item number 16, which is the Buckley's Russell Street intersection improvements. We have some questions. A question from Greg.
Yeah, on the Russell Street, on the east or the right hand side, there's the sort of Z-shaped crossing. There's currently a lamppost right in the middle of that. Where's that shifting to? It's not shown in the plan.
So the luminaires will be added to the traffic signal pole, so that we'll remove one column from the central island. They'll get combined.
So that solves that issue, and I think we were all happy with it when we discussed it. So ask for a mover.
It's been moved and seconded by you and Jackie.
Oh, so it's
earlier.
been moved and seconded by me and Jackie earlier. Oh, so that's good. So in that case, I put that. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against carried. All right. So now item number 17, which has been moved by Jackie. Do we have a second there? I'll second it. Yeah. I'd second it. So that's on the table. But I know that Yanni has questions about it. Yanni?
Yes, thanks. I'm just concerned around the design. I know we're not allowed to talk about the proposed NCR route that might or might not be going through this area. But when I look at it, it just, I don't know, it just, the idea of a shared path concerns me. And the way that the cycling kind of goes through the lane where people are turning and then onto the footpath concerns me. So I'm just wondering, has there been any sort of assessment done of like the safety aspect of what's been proposed and any feedback from some of the disability groups that in the past have raised concerns about shared paths?
So this went through an internal safety review because the majority of the existing arrangement remains the same. The cycle logo that's currently sitting on the road will actually be on the path. It was to show the residents what the changes that we'd made following their submissions, because one of the submitters did ask that when they're turning left, it's actually quite tight when a car is coming around at a very high speed as well. So the little bypass there allows you to leave the left turn, be able to travel through a short section of shared path and then come back out through the driveways. It really is only a short section. It's to remove a pinch point for people on their bicycles. And that came through in the submission. So it will go through another safety review before we get to construction. But the initial one was just an internal safety review independently, that because we're not changing the majority of the roadway.
So before I had my injury, I used to cycle around that a lot. It's a terrible intersection for cyclists that you just don't want to go through. And as a cyclist, when you come up to that very small shared path, you have to slow down in a way that you know, like extended shared paths where cyclists have ability to build up a lot of speed. I understand why people don't like it, but it's not the same. This shared path is a broad term, but this is a very specific type of one, which doesn't have the same level of risk. Like I've been wanting this intersection to be fixed for ages, and you know what, going through it on a bike isn't great. So I'm glad to see, and I don't think that that the shared path aspect of it is particularly poor. But so just to continue on with what Yanni is asking around, possible NCR integration, if you could address that, that'd be helpful.
Yes, so I received information from Jacob Bradbury, who's the planning and delivery manager, because this is more of a planning capital project. It's not an operational reactive one. And he said that staff are working on a business case to prepare applications for NZTA for funding for the 3 remaining major cycleways. Formal route selection and design for these routes will not start until either subsidy is secured or council has given staff direction to go ahead without subsidy, and therefore potential routes will not be released publicly until this time, as this will mean greater certainty can be given over the likely areas to be impacted. Using the current long-term plan, funding for construction of the Ōtākaro Avon route starts in FY30.
Thank you for the advice. I'm trying to align that with what happened at council a couple of months ago, where we had the Colombo Summerfield intersection, where there was a whole presentation around the MCR and the impact of that safety project on it. So,
Okay.
Are you able to address that or not?
I'm not able to address that. I wasn't part of that project either. All I can say is that in terms of this one, the signal assets do need replacing. They're at the end of their work life. And as part of upgrading those assets, that we have the opportunity to address the minor safety issues that we've been made aware of by the residents. But really there isn't any huge amounts of civil construction work that would be redundant if the route was to go through here and what design they ultimately come up with.
can I just understand, so like in terms of the shared path,
Yes.
when I look at the diagram, it seems like there's plenty of space to have just this dedicated cycling lane.
So yeah, in terms of keeping the budget quite small on this one, the existing path is just being converted to a shared path, rather than spending additional money to either widen the path or to put in a separate path. The numbers here aren't significantly high. We're not talking about a shared path where you'd see like in Hagley Park or even in some of the suburbs. The actual cycle numbers aren't huge, and the number of pedestrians walking in the space aren't huge either. So we feel that it's a low cost, good outcome for people who want to turn left on their bicycle but don't feel safe doing it through the traffic lane.
And then just, I guess I have a different point of view. If the MCR is going through here, and you would hope that there would be more people cycling, so you actually want a dedicated road, especially when you've got the land. But the only other question I have was around the speed hump. You know, what's the justification of having it when people exit? And what sort of gradient will it be at, which is the impact?
Yeah, so that speed hump will be our general 75 mil speed hump. So similar to what we've just put in at Gassam Address Morehouse, and on the left-hand slip lane from Morehouse into Waltham. So they're fairly gentle. I think you've got some up on Beach Road as well. So they're not significant platforms. The idea is that not only does it help slow people down where we've got pedestrians crossing the slip lane, because people are taking it quite fast, but the residents have also said that because people are turning left so fast, that when they're indicating into their driveway that they've been hit in the rear in the past. So we're just trying to slow everyone down just that little bit with just a small low cost treatment.
Yes, yeah, my work is right there and people go through that really fast. Kim, sorry, Greg.
A couple of quick things. Is there a minimum width required for a shared path?
Yes, it's normally 2.5 meters.
And that path that's that size?
This won't fit that path size. This would be about 2 meters that we've marked on the ground. And again, it was just to facilitate the left turn, but without spending a significant amount of money to do that. Because the numbers are fairly low, in terms of pedestrians and cyclists, we just felt like it was something that could be managed in the existing space.
And because it's short?
And because it's short. So when the major cycleway comes along and we do anticipate more people using it, then that whole layout would need to be reconsidered. But this is just I guess it's an interim solution. If the major cycleway goes here, you'd relook at it. If the major cycleway goes somewhere else, we could monitor it and see if it needs widening in parts in the future. Just to see how it goes.
Yeah, you've kind of already covered it, but myself, I struggled with, you've got a pedestrian crossing, but you've got a speed bump after the crossing, and we often say that speed bumps are used to slow cars, so when there's any pinch points and accidents.
Yes.
So at this point, wouldn't that make more sense to have the speed bumps before the pedestrian crossing?
Yes, however, we with ECAN, when the buses are turning left, they need to be effectively facing the speed hump. Otherwise, if they take it on the side, it could be really uncomfortable for passengers. So we've tried to get the best outcome for the buses, the residents and pedestrians, because people will still have to slow down to go over the hump. So in the vicinity of where people are crossing, people will be going a lot slower than they currently are. Like it's quite hairy trying to cross that slip lane now. So with just that feature there, people would slow down in advance of the crossing. But it means that it's not going to be an issue for the buses, and then it still supports the residents wishes for people to be more slower.
And there's two other things, obviously there's the people trying to get in the driveways, but there's also that the people run across the road when there's a funeral and when the input from the bus stop. So I guess it adds safety for those people as well. Any other questions? No? All right, so that's been, yep, you can.
What would be the cost of doing a separated cycle halfway through?
I would have to get those costs for you. I don't have them with me, sorry. Because there's already multiple paths there, another path would be quite a lot. We'd probably look to widen the existing one more before building a new one, just based on the current demands. I think until a decision is made on the major cycleway, it wouldn't seem reasonable and proportionate to spend that extra money based on the current situation, if that makes sense. So we could I can look at the cost of widening the existing, and I'm more than happy to talk to the Blind Foundation as well after tonight, to see what we can do, just to make it feel that bit more comfortable for people using the pathway.
I think that would be good, because I am also mindful there's a number of rest homes and around here as well. And we have in the report, and going back several years, there were people, blind people, who use this intersection quite a lot, and they've raised previous concerns about some of the design. So
I will talk to Karina and local after this problem.
But so there's nothing to stop us passing this now, and you can still looking at that. Right. Well, in that case, any further questions? No. Well, I'll put that now. So it's been moved by me and seconded by Jackie. Very happy to support this. It's a terrible intersection that should have been improved many years ago. So very happy to support it. All those in favour say aye. Against? Carried.
Thank you. And apologies, I was like, I really was expecting item 16 to be a lot later. Sorry.
Yeah, we had two deputations pull out. So yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. So we don't need a report. So done those. So all we have is members' information exchange. If anybody has anything to add. Is that you, Alex?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge the event that went on at QE2 over the weekend. I think it's really great that we've got such big events coming to our community. I haven't had any complaints towards the promoter in relation to noise. So it's really great to see those events coming back out to the east, and significant scale of the sets were really impressive. It was wonderful to see.
All right. Okay.
Just wanting to acknowledge the consenting for the South Shore.
Yeah.
The Brighton Estuary Edge, that's absolutely fantastic news. Many are very excited about that. Also, it was great to see the Bird Motorhome lights get the green light from council, even though we still have to wait for the funding found. But yeah, great move, so I'm very excited about that as well. Got coast to coast this weekend, so down the beach and back on the side of the road. I'm hoping that the roadworks along Marine Parade have been sorted, no doubt the organisers of the coast to coast done that. Yep, great. And I suppose the other, we have a new principal at Roughly Primary School, so that's an exciting thing too. So yeah, well done.
Okay, Greg.
Pretty quiet on my front at the moment, but just want to wish Kelly all the best for the coast to coast this weekend. Yeah, tries to line up pretty well, man.
I thought you'd given up.
No, after this one.
Oh, this is your last one.
Number 20.
I also want to wish Kelly's wife all the best because it's Valentine's Day. Nice on couch.
She'll be with me.
Anything else in order? No, all right. In that case, if you would say our closing karakia, thank you very much, everyone. Kia tau, te rangi Māori e, o te rangi, e tu I honei, o papatuanaku, I taku tōnei, o te tai ao, e awhi nei, ki ronga I a tātou, tihei, mauri ora.
Might be nice if we did one that's on screen next time. That's my fault because I put the wrong one on the run.
God, did you have
that?